Welcome to Infinity Narration, where every story has the power to change the way you see life. Let's begin.
Have you ever met someone who saved every penny they earned? Someone who believed that the secret to success was simply saving more and spending less. This is the story of a boy named Ethan. Ethan lived in a peaceful little town with his parents and grandfather. Every week, his parents gave him a small allowance. Most children spent their money on toys, candy, and games. But Ethan was different. While his friends rushed into stores with excitement, Ethan quietly slipped his money into a small metal box hidden beneath his bed. "I'll save it for my future," he often told himself. Whenever he received money, he carefully placed it inside the box. He never spent a single coin. As the months passed, the box became heavier and heavier, and Ethan became prouder and prouder. One evening, while counting his savings, Ethan smiled to himself. "One day I'll be rich," he thought. His grandfather happened to notice. With a gentle smile, he sat beside Ethan. "What will you do with all that money?" he asked. Ethan looked proudly at the growing pile of coins. "I'll be rich one day." His grandfather patted him gently on the head. But instead of giving advice, he simply smiled and walked away. A few days later, the old man called Ethan into the garden. In his hand were 2 tiny seeds. "Ethan, these are for you." The boy looked confused. "What am I supposed to do with them?" His grandfather smiled. "That's your choice." Ethan took the seeds home. The first seed he placed safely inside a glass jar to protect it. The second seed he planted in the garden. Every day he watered it. Every day he checked on it. First, nothing happened. Days passed. Then weeks. The soil looked exactly the same. Ethan became impatient. But his grandfather encouraged him to continue. So he did. Months later, a tiny green sprout finally appeared. The little plant slowly grew taller. Year after year, it became stronger. Its roots spread deep into the ground. Its branches stretched toward the sky. Eventually, it became a beautiful apple tree. Soon, the tree grew taller than Ethan himself. Bright red apples filled its branches. One summer evening, Ethan stood beneath the tree with his grandfather. The old man pointed toward the glass jar sitting on the windowsill. "Do you remember the other seed?" Ethan nodded. "It's still there." The grandfather smiled. Then he asked, "Which seed became more valuable?" Ethan looked up at the apple tree. "The planted one." "And why?" "Because it grew." The old man nodded. Then he placed a gentle hand on Ethan's shoulder. "Money is exactly the same." Ethan listened carefully. "If you lock money away forever, it stays exactly what it is." The grandfather pointed toward the tree. "But when you use money wisely to learn, build, create, and invest in opportunities, it begins to grow." For the first time, Ethan truly understood. Saving money was important, but saving alone was not enough. Growth required action. Years passed. Ethan never forgot the lesson beneath that apple tree. Instead of simply saving money, he invested in himself. He learned new skills, worked hard, took opportunities, and little by little his efforts began to grow, just like the seed. Years later, Ethan built a successful food company. His products reached thousands of families across the country. People admired his success, but they never knew where it began. One evening, after a long day at work, Ethan sat alone in his office. In his hand was a fresh red apple. On his desk rested an old photograph of him and his grandfather beneath the apple tree. As he looked at the apple, memories came rushing back. The garden, the seeds, the lessons, the love. A smile appeared on Ethan's face. "Grandpa was right," he whispered. "The seed that stayed safe inside the jar never changed. But the seed that was planted transformed into something far greater than anyone imagined." And that's when Ethan realized his grandfather had never been teaching him about seeds. He had been teaching him about life. Because every dream begins as a seed. Every skill begins as a seed. Every opportunity begins as a seed. And every successful life begins with the courage to plant something today and believe it can become more tomorrow. Some people spend their entire lives protecting their seeds, keeping them safe, never risking them, never planting them. But the seeds that change our lives are the ones we are willing to nurture, grow, and give a chance. Ethan looked once more at the photograph and smiled. Though his grandfather was no longer beside him, the lesson still was. A seed grows when it's planted. Money grows when it's used wisely. Dreams grow when they're pursued. And people grow when they're willing to take action. Because sometimes the greatest risk isn't losing what you have. It's never giving your opportunities the chance to grow. Thank you for listening.
Don't let your dreams stay safe. Plant them where they can grow. Because the greatest dreams aren't protected forever. They're given a chance to bloom.
Thank you for watching Infinity Narration. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Until the next story, stay kind, stay strong, and keep believing in the power of your choices.